maybe it's where we are. Okay, we're live again. Okay, I don't know why we got cut off. Hey, it's sort of the story of the way things are right now.
Right, and so we're kind of in the middle of talking about the couple that we found. So, and they were fine. So basically the husband had come out of the house, and I don't know if anybody's joining us yet, so maybe I'll wait.
Right. Okay, so I'm hanging out here with Stephanie Byrne. Well, even if they don't, they'll get on later. And they'll see it. This is on my page, and we're going to share it because we've got our WJHG page taken up with the live stream.
Okay.
So I'm just doing it with my page for right now, and then people start joining and they can watch it later. So, but anyways, whoever can see this,
didn't mean to leave it on a cliffhanger. So the husband actually came out because it was a 2-story home. He came out on his balcony, and so Brooke from TVY shouted up to him, "Are you so and so?" And he said yes. And so she goes up the stairs and she's like, "Your daughter's trying to find you." And so then the wife came out as well, and we were able to talk to them. They let us go into their house, and they hid in a closet, and the rest of their house was just devastated. You look up and you see the sky, like perfect blue sky day. Just you're stepping on glass as you're going through their house. Everything's kind of just fallen in. The roof has fallen in. And then they showed us the closet, and the closet looked like it hadn't been touched. I don't know how they had the intuition to go in the closet, of all places, because it wasn't the most interior structure of the house. So it's just a miracle that they're okay, and we're able to get in touch with the daughter to let them know they're okay.
And then you drove on down. You saw that the iconic Toucans was gone.
Well, we actually didn't see the debris from Toucans because everybody kept telling us to turn around because they said Toucans was in the road, so we couldn't go.
You couldn't go past it. What about the beach side of Mexico Beach? You said you didn't even realize that there used to be houses there because there was nothing but stilts in some places.
Right. Well, actually, because if you drive down 98, you see parts of 98 washed away, and then you could see kind of houses pretty far apart, the ones that are on stilts. And then it didn't occur to me when we were there Thursday, but then we went back Friday morning, and we saw the foundations, and then that's when it hit me that when we saw the stilts and the foundation, that those were homes there, and that's when it like really settled in that those were homes that washed away in the storm. Because if you're north of 98, you still see some resemblance of a home, or you see a pile of debris, but it was just, you either saw the piping or the foundation or the stilts. You didn't see the rest of the home. Right.
And that's Mexico Beach, where arguably absolutely the worst of the devastation is. But when you say that's the worst of the devastation, it's still just horrible. How did Port St. Joe fare? You were over in that area, which is right next to Mexico Beach.
So Port St. Joe, I mean, I wouldn't say it's like Mexico Beach out there, but it was hit bad. If you're looking at some of the homes, especially if you're in downtown Port St. Joe, which is near the water, you just see boats on the grass and in the road and on the sidewalks because there's a marina, the Port St. Joe Marina's out there. And then you could tell that the storm surge got into these restaurants and these businesses that are on the coast. And you could see, like, if I were to talk about it, it'd probably be up to my hips in some areas, like the water line that was in the area. And you could see that cars had water lines, so you know they were picked up and
just moved
because you knew they weren't just parked there because they were taking up 4 or 5 spots, and they had debris stuck under them, like pine needles were all packed in underneath them. So we saw boats and cars that weren't where they were supposed to be, and then some homes, some of them were destroyed in this. And it wasn't every single home by any means, but some homes had trees on them. Others, it's going to take a long time for them to pick up where they left off. Just the families that we've met, as soon as the storm was over, they're trying to go in to rip up their carpet because their carpets were soaked. They had to get furniture out, make sure some of it was at least salvageable.
Unbelievable. Well, I'm just so glad you're back safe. We couldn't get you out of there for days because the roads were impassable.
Right.
We were very worried. We were even thinking about trying to get a chopper to get you out of there and working with corporate offices, but thankfully, eventually the roads opened up just enough for us to get you out safely. And I know it was wonderful seeing your fiance Austin for the first time.
That was
he was driving by the station just worried sick about you, and we were telling him we're in contact with her. But see, that's the other thing, I could only contact Stephanie a little bit here and there.
I had 1 bar of service,
very little,
because I was in the courthouse, and so it was actually Brooke who found out if you stand in the specific part of the sidewalk outside of the courthouse, like on the steps, we can get 1 bar. And so I'm like, all right, let me try to get a hold of work and my family.
All right. Wow.
But,
I keep getting phone calls, but they're not actually going through because I still haven't had service. It's like I'll answer it and it'll go, hello, hello.
That's what was happening with me and my fiance, because he was calling on a landline, and I wasn't able to make calls out. I was texting people, my text would send, but I was texting them so they could call me.
Right.
So he was trying to call me on a land.
Trying. Maybe they're starting to come through a little bit. All right, I'm going to wrap this up because maybe I keep hoping I'm going to get cell service. I'm just so glad Stephanie's okay. Wanted her to share some of those off-the-cuff stories that we've had. And we got Scott Rossman, who's been with us since the very beginning.
Headed to the EOC with Stephanie, and actually Sean's going to try and get us into his neighborhood. We're going to ride in his truck, so we can get into more damaged areas. So Sean and Stephanie and I, and we'll be back on the air as soon as we can get our stuff back. At the EOC, I'm sure it's a wealth of information that needs to get out. We're going to get there. If we can get cell phone service, we'll call in to the set and immediately put that information out there for folks. But at the very least, we're going to shoot what we can, work our way back through one of the damaged areas of Lynn Haven, and then try to get back here and get it on the air as soon as possible.
Get us some info, because that's been the hardest thing, is having to drive all the way to the Emergency Operations Center and find the officials to get information. You know, schools around here, no idea when they're ever going to be able to open. So many of the schools were damaged or even destroyed. Nisa came back from Bay High last night and was just showing me video from there. And it's heartbreaking. And you know, the schools that are open, like my kids go to Bozeman, but that's right now the place where they're trying to stage everybody. It looks like a military camp out of Bozeman right now, because they've got all of these people, you know, just they're using it as a shelter, and they've got EMS people treating people with medical issues, and they are, you know, that's also the place where they're giving people food and water, and so I think National Guard people are up there. It really does look like a military base right now at their school. And then the other things, like today, this is something I really wish I could have gotten up there, because Bozeman had a community church service at the football field. And I heard Ivan Beach, the assistant principal, was leading that worship, and I wish I could have been there. I really, really wish I could have been there, but I have to be here. But we did send a crew up there, and Nisa's up there covering it this morning for us, so we'll have that story eventually. And right now, we're not even putting stories. What is it?
If you have something more valuable for Stephanie to do here, Sean and I can probably do this by ourselves.
Okay. Yeah, I can find. Yeah, you guys can take care of that. And Steph, I have plenty of assignments to go around.
Okay, and I still have all my stuff from.
Right. Just start cutting that stuff that you already have, and then I'll get with you. So we're just kind of doing the best we can to get everything covered. But anyways, we're going to have chunks of that information as we get it. We're going to bring it back here and put it on. We're going to stay on WJHG. You can keep watching our WJHG Facebook page for all of that information. It's running Facebook Live now, so I'll share this Facebook Live from my page to that page. You know, we're just trying to get information out any way we can. And last thing I'll show you is this is our little living room, our little kitchen area. This has kept us going. We've got it stocked with foods that are easy to take care of and get a quick hot meal in, because I tell you, anything tastes better than a peanut butter sandwich right now. So just thankful that we're all safe, we're all accounted for, everybody at our station's accounted for, and that's really what matters the most. So I'm going to cut it off here. I'm going to just keep giving you guys as many updates as we can. Please keep the prayers coming. I tell you what, the people of this community are going to need them for a long time to come. And the one thing about covering news that I think hurts me the most is knowing that when it comes to disasters, we cover them, and they're a big story for a while, and then people's lives go on. I'm already seeing that. You know, my assistant news director Shauna was looking at people's Facebook posts and was like, oh, people's lives are going on to normal, and meanwhile here it's not going to be normal for a very long time, a very, very long time. And I just want nobody to forget Panama City and to forget the people of little old Mexico Beach. You know, we have a lot of elderly people that had their beach homes here, and they're not accounted for, and a lot of young families over near the Air Force Base, near Callaway, Springfield, Parker. Those places were destroyed. That area was leveled. So very few things in that area are livable, and even those places that are livable, they're just damaged, aren't going to have power possibly for months. So keep everybody in your prayers here. We on the beach fared very well compared to everywhere else, so we're just going to do everything we can to continue helping the people of this community. But I thank you for your support and love to all my friends and family out there. Sorry I haven't been able to be a little bit more in touch, but we got work to do, and we're doing it old school right now. We've got the whiteboards out for assignments because the computers aren't working, the email's not working. only a few computers. We're going old school. We're getting assignments out. We got whiteboards in the hallway as we continue to dry out the rugs from the compromised roofs. We're just going to keep going, Facebook, and we're going to keep on saying Panama City strong, because this community needs it. Thanks for your love and support.